The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. TGIF. I hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. Of course, I am, because finally, after 4 weeks of being off, I'm back. We are back.
Back.
What's that? My boyfriend's back.
Well, see, I was thinking it was like a case of the herpes. We just keep coming back. But,
well, that too. Like a bad penny.
Yeah.
You know. So, and obviously, Miss Beautiful, Magical, Mystical Kelly McCarville is on tonight.
I need to wear my boots when I come on the show, and I forget every time because it gets deep.
It does get deep, but you know I mean it. So, I'm
Happy
excited
Friday,
about
everybody.
Yes. I'm excited. First shout outs to the first couple people. I see other likes, but so far we have Matt and Mama Deb. So thank you guys. I'm really excited. Tonight we have, I can't even, it's Reverend Psychic Medium Christopher J. Brown. Did I get it right?
Hello. You got it right.
I did. I always forget the Reverend part.
That's okay. It's like one of those things, Reverend, Psychic Medium, those are just titles. They really, and that's all they are. They don't really have much weight, at least in my opinion, but I do use them because it lets people know what I do.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with that.
No,
nothing wrong with that at all. So I told Kelly before I think you joined us that I would tell, I always do these songs before we go live, and I play songs. Normally it's like just for me, not with her. But it's usually Shawn Mendes's "In My Blood" or the girl sings it. I don't even know who she is. The fight song. And I told her I would not tell her what tonight's song was until we were live on air because I wanted her live reaction. So tonight it was Islands in the Stream.
Okay then.
It got me pumped up. I was dancing with the dog, and so it got me through. Here I am.
Whatever floats your boat, hon.
Yeah, it's questionable, but Oh, all right. So
too funny.
I I know, I can't help it. I'm really hoping I don't lose my voice tonight.
You can do it.
Yeah, Shay without a voice is nothing, because that's what she is. She's all mouth. We all know it's true.
That was one of the first things that you told me about yourself at Parafest when we met. Is you were just like, yeah, I'm blunt as they come, and if you don't like it, then maybe.
Yeah. But you would think, because of the way I talk about you, that we've known each other forever, Chris. But we just met a few months ago, in person.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how we didn't meet each other before, but
I don't know. That was my first. Because I'd been doing a lot of fairs and things before, but they were more. They were done through a woman named Becky Grant, and she does a lot of. I'm not even sure. The holistic, I guess, would be the best phrase.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
Reiki
crystals and Reiki healers and mediums and things like that, but it doesn't ever really go into the realm of the paranormal. Which,
more metaphysical,
Yeah.
Exactly. And for me, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now if it wasn't for the paranormal. That's what really kind of kicked off a lot of this for me. So when I was there, I was like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, and then you ended up thankfully, you tagged along with us, that sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. The little pod we have all night, so it wasn't like a 5-second meeting. This was an all-night investigation.
No, and that investigation was great. It was a mix of both, getting some really cool evidence and hearing and experiencing a lot of cool things, and just having that fun with you guys. You guys were great. You had me busting up all night long, and it was cool to meet new people and make new friends. And I think that was one of the things I liked the most about it,
Everybody but one person in that group was in the same, it was, at one point or another we met, and it was just instantaneous. All right, This is how it's going to be, and you fit right in. So it was pretty good.
It was fun. It was a blast.
It was.
That mill is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is.
I'm jealous of everything you guys have out on the East Coast.
See, but I'm jealous of the people you have out there towards Iowa. You guys have such a tight-knit out there in Iowa. You guys actually have more than we do. We have to pay thousands of dollars to get into some of these places. And
yeah, you guys have more. Some of the big name places, so yeah, they're pricey. Yeah. But we've got a lot of cool people in the area, but we just don't really have any of those big places like you guys have to go to.
Yeah, but you guys, it's the community. It's not the places, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how I feel.
Anywho,
yes.
Should we learn a little bit about Chris?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I meant yes.
I'm pretty much an open book.
And he always says
much
that.
to my detriment sometimes.
So why don't we start with how did you get into the paranormal?
So kind of like Kelly was saying, I wasn't really aware that I had any sort of psychic or feelings about of spirits or anything. I wasn't really aware of that at a young age, but only because I didn't have verbiage to put together with it. I mean, I was aware of it, but I just didn't have the words to tell myself this is a spirit and this is what I'm feeling. I used to just kind of tell my friends I felt when ghosts were around, and they just they look at me like, yeah, whatever. But I ended up living in a house in Portland, Maine for 10 years, and this place was cliche haunted, for lack of a better way to say it. I mean, there was from shadow figures to things flying off of the cupboards that had been there for years, knocking on the doors, things you'd wake up and there'd be someone standing over you, just all this crazy stuff going on at that house. And that really that kicked it off for me to want to do investigating. But, as life progresses and things happen, I didn't pursue that. I got into other stuff. And and I kind of like put that all on the back burner. But as a result of that, like I still had those abilities. I was still hearing and feeling spirit, but I was suppressing it, and it kind of manifested into what doctors thought was mental illness. They diagnosed me with schizoaffective disorder, and they said that the voices I was hearing was all, imaginary. I had to go and seek all this therapy and do all this stuff. And here I'm thinking like I don't feel crazy, like. I was even committed at one point because they were like, yep, you're hearing these voices and that's not healthy. You need to get locked up. And I was in there with people who had genuine mental health issues. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why am I here? No offense to any of those people because they were going through their own battles. But I'm thinking to myself, like, why am I sitting here? But it was unscreened mediumship, and I found out because I was going to different haunted locations with a friend of mine who joined a paranormal team. And he invited me to the Parsonsfield Seminary. Are you familiar with that place?
Me? You're talking to Kelly, right?
I've heard of it.
Because that's where him and I met, so I don't think he's talking to me.
Yeah, I've heard of it, obviously, but no, I've never been.
Okay, so the Parsonsfield Seminary. So it was kind of by chance. Me and my friend were there, and we were just kind of checking out the outside of it. I mean, we didn't have any access to the inside, but just so happens that the caretakers were out there, like taking away an old Christmas tree. And they were like, hey, what are you guys doing? We explained that we were investigators, and they were like, well, why don't you come inside, and we'll show you the place. And we're just like sitting there like,
yes, please.
Yeah, we're like,
yes, please.
Like, fucking awesome. We're going to get to go into this, like, amazingly, like, just the location itself is beautiful anyway, and the inside just architecturally and spatially, but like spiritually too, it's jacked up. And so we were going through, and we ended up going up to the upper floors, and I kept feeling like there was like a young male spirit playing games. He was like trying to play hide and seek with me, and I'm like, nah, this is my imagination. Like I'm in a very reportedly haunted place, and like maybe just I'm conjuring this stuff up in my imagination. So I just kind of brushed it aside. And I got home, and I ended up going on YouTube and looking up Parsonsfield Seminary and paranormal investigation. And there was another group there, and they had a medium on their crew. And she was going through, and she got to, like, right where I was on the top floor and was like, there's a young man spirit here, and, he's playing games with me. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's what I felt. Like, that's what I thought, too, when I was there. It was so powerful, so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. So from that moment, I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. I need to stop, and I need to like find out what this means. And I dug into mediumship and psychic work, and I've just been obsessed with it ever since. I joined a paranormal crew for a long time, and I kind of honed my skills a little bit there. And actually, kind of a funny story too. There was the team lead. He was assigning roles for people in the group. And I wanted to be like the team psychic, and he was like, "Yeah, no, like that's not going to work. You need to do this, that, and the other thing, and it takes a lot of training and hard work, and like it does." He was 100% right. But I'm kind of like one of those people that if you tell me I can't do something, I'm like, "Well, fuck you, I can't."
Right?
Watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I studied and I hit the pavement, and I was doing reading after reading after reading, and mostly on Facebook at first. A lot of stuff on Facebook, just little mini readings that I felt from looking at someone's picture or pictures of someone's loved one who had passed. And then it has just evolved since then. Now I've done a lot of psychic and mediumship work, and it is truly my passion and my full time thing. So I'm very blessed.
So
I guess that was a long-winded way that I finally answered.
No. We like long-winded answers here.
Good.
You know me. It's all I do. I don't answer anything shortly. So,
I know, and it's like that there's so many like avenues to which I could go down too that contribute and help, because like that was just a very condensed explanation of how I got into it, because there's been so many people that have come and gone along the way that have helped me out, just mentors and just other people that have just pushed me along every time I felt like I was going to quit. But
yeah, and then you get off air and you're like, oh, I should have mentioned this, or I should have mentioned this person, or we've all been there.
So when you finally figured it out, did it kind of like all these light bulbs in your past came on that you're going, oh, you know, and it started like so many
there was
things
like a
in your past started making sense.
Harry met Sally moment. Can you do that again? Sorry.
Oh. I thought you were going to go a different direction with it, but you know.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, it's okay. So you were asking if I started having like light bulb moments based on my past experience.
Like when you started figuring out, hey, this is what I've been experiencing. I'm a psychic. I'm a medium. Did all of a sudden you start thinking about things that had happened in the past and going, that did happen, and that happened there, and that happened there, and you just started remembering all the together. Things. Yeah, like connecting all the dots of where you felt weird about something, and all of a sudden it made sense.
It absolutely, and you know, a lot of it stems back from like that house that I lived in. You know, thinking like, oh, okay, like you know, this makes sense, and then now I know why that like I just knew about one thing, or like that's how like if somebody were to call me, back then it was we didn't have the caller ID and stuff. I'd just be like, oh, my Aunt Sandy's calling. And sure enough, my mom would pick up the phone. Oh, Aunt Sandy's on the phone. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, absolutely. Those things started happening. And funny enough, I was saying earlier about how I was hearing these kind of, spirit voices internally and like my inner dialogue and stuff. After I really kind of opened up and started doing this for work, they stopped.
They stopped?
And I was like,
did it stop or is it more controlled?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key word right there.
Yeah.
It's definitely more controlled because it doesn't stop. I just have a better way of being like, yeah, hey, not now.
Exactly. And I think that that's such a huge factor when people are learning their abilities is not only how to build them and use them and grow them, but also how to hit the stop button because it shouldn't go 24/7. That's you need to have a life too,
I'm not a psychic or a medium, but that is the biggest thing I hear from psychics and mediums that, like, either whether it's still happening or in the beginning, they didn't know how to shut it off. They didn't know how to put up those boundaries, and it was just driving them crazy all the time. So I'm so glad. Like, I've always done that. Once in a while, the phone rings, and I know it's going to be somebody or something, but I can't imagine like being a medium and hearing dead people all the time because the voices in my head are so loud as is. I don't need dead people talking to me too.
But that's where that control comes in because, I mean, I think that's what he was saying too, and that's you've heard me say it a million times.
Yeah.
I didn't want them talking to me all the time, and if that was the way it was going to be, I was just going to keep it on the off button.
Yeah. So it's
exactly.
But everybody's is different. How to control it, everybody does it a different way, right?
I would agree with that. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of other mediums and things like that, and they, I know one person in particular. She tells me that she's clicked in all the time and she does not shut it off, and that's how it works for her, and it's not a hindrance. She just lives there in that kind of. In that world, and it works for her. But for me, like, I'm definitely not bombarded all the time. And like Kelly was saying, I've learned ways to kind of to let them know, like, hey, like people have asked me, do you have people that just come to you and in the spirit world and they want to give a message to somebody, and then you go up like, to somebody randomly in a crowd. That happens on occasion, but instead of being like that rude person you see on TV that's like, oh my God, I got your grandmother here, and she said, buy the apricot. You know what I mean? I think that's rude, and I think that it's not right.
Yeah,
so what I do is I will tell the person in the spirit world, like, hey, I understand that you want to talk to your loved one, and I fully love and respect you for that, but if you get them to come over here, I will absolutely find a way to get the message across to them. Like, them come to me, and then we can do this. But
because it's and that's, in my opinion, that's the correct approach to have on this, because it is not up to us to decide that person is ready to hear that message,
Absolutely.
That's their decision if they're ready to hear a message from their past, from their loved ones. So, I wholeheartedly agree with that approach.
Kelly knows this.
It's a moral and ethical thing at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I again, I'm not psychic, not a medium, but Kelly knows this about me. If somebody comes to me and be like, this is going to happen, or I have a message from this person, and I'm like, first of all, I didn't give you fucking permission. So back off. Well, and I have no issue telling people that. None.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny you say that, Shay, too, because I was watching an interview with, because I was, like I said, I'm obsessed with mediumship and psychic work, so like all I do is watch stuff about it. But I was watching another interview with another medium, and he was talking about how there was one mentor of his that was a very good medium. He would give messages, very, very powerful ones to a lot of people. And then when another medium would come up to him and say, oh, hey, you know, your father says blah, blah, he'd be like, stop. You think I don't know what my father says? And like, I just thought it was kind of a very funny approach. Now, like, I don't do that myself. If another medium has a message for me, I'm happy to hear it. But I just thought that was kind of an interesting way to look at it because of her too. And Kelly, I don't know if you've experienced this, but have people asked you or do you experience this yourself where they say, like, can you get a read for yourself?
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask you the same question. No, to answer the question, I can't. I can connect with almost anybody else. Anybody can come up and say, can you connect with so-and-so? And I can do it. But I don't hear from my family. And there's times that I think maybe they're around, that all of a sudden they'll pop into my head for no reason, or I hear something, a thought pops into my head that would have been something they'd have said to me if they were still here. But like to actively connect with them and talk to them and have conversations like I do with other spirits, absolutely nothing. I mean, not like that at all. Do you get that?
No, it's the thing. I do. I'm very, very connected to my loved ones, and it's the kind of a thing where, like, a friend of mine, he's one of my guides now. His name is Leonard Pennington. I called him Lenny. Everybody else did too. He was like a father figure to me. You know what I mean? He was a very, very, very strong influence in my life. Very good guy. But he passed from esophageal cancer. And I actually spend more time with him now than I did when he was alive. You know, it comes and goes. Sometimes he's there more than others, but I mean, he and I are in communication a lot. Now that's not to say that there aren't other people that I've lost that are in the spirit world that don't come to me. Like I have another friend who she's doing a lot of healing work on her end in the spirit world. So I don't really hear from her a lot. But psychically, fuck no. I can't get a read off of anything psychically in my life. Like, if I'm like, oh, I wonder, you know, is this the right thing to do? Like, even my intuition sometimes. That's why I called my podcast I Fucking Knew It, because I'm constantly like, should I go down the left path? And I'm like, nah, I'll go down the left.
I'm going to go
right. Thought I should have been on the left one. And I'm like, I fucking knew it. God damn it. So kind of the reverse for me. On a psychic level, fuck no. I have no clue. I am just like, nope, I have no clue what my intuition is leading me towards. You know, I do have gut feelings about certain things, but yeah, on a mediumship level, I'm very, very connected to the people that have passed.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm just remembering when we are sitting in that big auditorium part, in between sessions at Parafest, and you're like, yeah, I have a podcast too. I already knew I liked you. Like, you were getting along with the group, and you're like, I have a podcast too. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's it called? And you told me, and I'm like, we're going to be friends. Like, I fucking knew it.
Yep.
Like, I knew right then, we're going to be friends.
Right?
Yep.
I was hesitant too. When I first came up with the name, I was like, well, you know, and it's so fucked up too, because like, in my whole journey as a medium, I've gone through all these ebbs and flows of like, hey, is it okay for me to listen to death metal because I'm a medium? Like, I have to be fucking holier than thou? Like, no, I don't. You know, I used to wonder, like, you know, am I able to swear? Like, would it make me a bad medium if I swore? Like, these are all things I had no clue about because, like I said, I didn't have anybody to talk to about this stuff. And all I saw on, like, you know, in books and on TV and stuff was these very, like, you know, super healed people, and they were just like, no, you gotta, you know, everything is love and light, and there's no other stuff. Well, I've come to find out that, like, you know, if you're in a room with nothing but light, and that's all there is, and then you go into the dark, you can't see shit. But if you go into a room that's completely dark and you sit there for a long time, and then you go into a room where there's light, you can't see shit. But if you're in a room with kind of a balance of both, hey, look at that, you can see everything. That's kind of how they.
I do too. That's good. Speaking of Parafest, Toby popped into chat tonight. He's there.
Toby.
Hey, Toby.
Yeah.
Yes. Darren has a question before we go on. Darren has many questions in here, and Darren, I'm sorry, we probably won't get to them all, but I'm going to try. Chris, what is your favorite piece of equipment, like physical equipment?
For investigations, my favorite piece of equipment, honestly, I really like the Phasma boxes, spirit boxes, things like that. The obelisks, where Spirit is able to manipulate the data bank in certain things and use that to speak and kind of verbiage. You use that verbiage out. I like those because I've gotten really good hits on them. I've gotten really good intelligent responses, and it humanizes spirits a little bit more, if that makes sense. Like having them light up a REM pod is cool, but if you can actually hear their voice, it brings back that physical aspect of them that is lost now that they're in the spirit world. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. Hi, Mama Pat. Love you.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
Hi, Mommy.
So I would say either a Phasma box or the obelisk or a spirit box to that.
Yeah, my answer is always different. It depends on the location, but it's right up that alley. Like,
yeah,
there's a few pieces of equipment that are always my favorite, but they switch out depending on the location and what's called for during that investigation.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to read. We answered that question.
I'm not sure which ones of these you want to ask. I've got them all here if you want me to.
The first one you already answered.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite experiment? Sorry, Kel.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Do I have a favorite experiment?
Yes.
So the Estes, I think, that's kind of what they're talking about, I think.
Yes.
Maybe, but,
yeah.
The Estes thing, I love doing that. I think it's great. It allows, especially as a medium, because I can really check out. But sometimes it can be a detriment because then I really open myself up and like everything floods through, not just what I'm hearing in my physical ears through the headphones, but sometimes I'm getting other messages too, and I'm like, well, fuck, like, I say just what's on the box, or can I,
I've asked Kelly this before, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
How do you tell the difference?
Well, because when you hear with your ears, well, for me, when I hear with my ears and when I hear in my head, but I was laughing as you were saying that because, I've had like arguments with spirits before because we're trying to use a communication device. And I'm like, can you answer through the device? And they're like, no, you can hear me. I'm like, yes, but I'm the only one. Can you answer so everybody can hear you? No, that's a lot of work. You can hear me. I'm like, okay, but do you ever run into that where they're just like, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're definitely. It's funny because like, and you said it perfectly just then, where they're like, yeah, no, but like you can hear me, and it's so much easier. Like,
right,
that is 100% involving their personality, and like, and true spirit communication involves bringing through, as you know, person's genuine personality. That was one hurdle that I ran into when I first started doing readings, because again, I thought that it was only the love and light, and that's all it was. So I remember the first time, I will never forget this, the first time I did a reading for a woman, and like, I sat down with her and I was like, okay, your father's coming through, and he, I felt that he wasn't a good guy, but I was like, shit, I can't say that because that's not love and light. So I was like, yeah, he's a really genuine guy, really good. And she's like, not my fucking father. And I was like, shit. Like, why, what am I doing wrong and stuff? And it's because I wasn't giving him proper, like, credit. He wasn't a great guy when he was here, and he was kind of grumpy, and he was kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
So, like, if I had said that, she would have been like, yep, you know what? You have my father here. I know that.
Yeah.
And these are things that I learned developing going on, but it is very much personality based.
And do you ever find with that personality that sometimes they want you to say things in a certain way? And it was funny because as you were saying, I didn't know if I was supposed to swear and stuff. I remember the first time that I was doing it. Well, it wasn't the first time that I swore in a reading, but that I was doing a medium reading, and the man that was talking to me, it was her dad, and he kept saying, "Tell her she's being a bitch," and I'm like, I am not going to tell her that, and he just kept saying it. You need to tell her she's being a bitch about this, and I'm like, finally, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. He has said this 3 times. That's my cue. I'm going to say this. Please don't get mad at me. You know, and so I told her exactly that. And that's when she bursts into tears. And she's like, that's how he always told me I needed to do things, you know, and it's just, it's funny, but you never know. I mean, it's you never know if you're supposed to, but kind of so on that note, because like I said, 3 times is kind of my golden rule. If they tell me something 3 times that I'm unsure of sharing with them, I'll tell them. Do you have like a golden rule like that, or something that tells you this is for sure something you have to share?
So I don't have a golden rule, but I do have I'll have the threshold of okay, all right, I get it. You know, I will get to the point with them where I'm like, okay, obviously you're not letting this go, so I have to, I clearly have to say it. And I've had quite a few, but the one that sticks out the most, and I will never, ever, ever forget this as long as I live. I was sitting across from a woman, and her best friend, when they were younger, came through, and you know, they were in about their 20s or whatever. And her friend in the spirit world was like, "Tell her about how we were sluts." And I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like, no.
I'm not going to tell this woman she's a slut.
I don't know. And she was such a sweet woman, and she was so nice and kind. And I'm just like, "Are you serious?" Like, I started sweating. I was like, "Oh my fucking God, I can't even believe this right now." And she's like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, you know, and I finally stopped, and I was like, "Look, your friend really wants me to say something, and I don't know if I should, but I'm so sorry if I'm wrong or if this is inappropriate, but," and then I said it, and she started laughing, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's her. That's exactly what she would have said." And I was just like, oh, such elation after oh my God, I can't believe that. I was expecting to get smacked.
Right? Yeah, because you're never sure how they're going to receive that message, but you just got to kind of go with it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You just have to, and you know, there's other times where, you know, they say other things, like this woman's brother came through and she had me call him an asshole, and I'm just like, what? Come on, why? So I've gotten better at giving them the opportunity to have me say it sooner instead of having them press me for it. Yeah. Because before I'd be sitting there in my mind being like, no, how dare you make me say something like that? But you know, it's all part of the learning process, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I know for me at first, it was I would listen to them and try to analyze appropriately how to share what they were saying. And so, but they talked so fast that what I found is I was missing some of the things that they were saying then. So now when they're a fast talker, I find myself just repeating it as quickly and as instantly as they're saying it. And sometimes things are out of my mouth before I realize what I said. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry I said that.
I just rejoined, guys. Sorry, but if you repeat it exactly how they say.
Yeah, I know. But...
Texture. I'm asking. Doesn't that give more clarity to the person that's supposed to hear it?
Yep. And that's what we were talking about.
I agree.
If I die and I come to you and I say, what the fuck? You know, if you say, what the fuck? And then you start saying all these mass things, you know, somebody's going to
Well, and then here's the thing with that, too. Those areas get kind of gray when it comes to certain scenarios. As a reverend, I started doing readings at the Spiritualist Church. And when you're on the podium like that, and someone says, "Yeah, tell my son that I used to paddle his ass," I can't word it like that.
Exactly.
I have to say, yeah. So, and I've run into that. That was a prime example. A man came through at the church, and he was like, "Tell my son that I used to paddle his ass." And I'm like, I can't. But
you'd be my favorite reverend if you ever was up there on the podium talking like that. I'd be all in. I would be.
If I could at a church service like that, I absolutely would, but I think that the lead pastors might frown upon that.
Yeah, they might a little bit.
Just a little.
They don't have quite the sense of humor we do.
Yeah. But what I will do is I'll still word it in a way where they know that he's not saying, like, I don't know, to still let them know what they're saying. So, like, I'll say, yes, your dad's coming through. He's saying that he used to, beat your bottoms or something. Try to lighten up.
Have you ever, like,
scenario.
afterwards gone back and been like, his exact words were, beat your ass?
Well, no, because, like, I'll say something like, yeah, your dad is saying that he used to paddle your bum, but bum is not the word he's using.
Exactly. I'll say, I'll put it the same way. I'm like, he's saying he paddled your butt, but he didn't use those words.
That's why I'm not a medium, because I would just repeat
the person sitting there will laugh because they're like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? That's...
Or like, your mother is coming through and saying that she could be a little bit of little difficult at times, but difficult was not the word she used.
That'd be my mother. Speaking of, hi Mom, she's in the chat.
Hello.
Yeah, my mother would not be like, she was a little difficult. She'd be like, oh, she was evil. So...
You gotta be careful who you say that to, though. If someone come back and says you're evil, all of a sudden you'll be exorcised.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I have exorcised the demons.
Exorcised.
Yeah, see, you see what my mother put in that chat?
Exactly. That is the same as saying I love you in our family.
It is. So. I know. I'm just I am. I'm not as much of a bitch as people think. I am, but not quite as bad as they think. Like,
I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm a bigger bitch than people think I am. I don't know.
It's a toss-up between both of what we're saying. Like, maybe we switch days.
I'm like, thank God there isn't the little air bubbles that show up above our head with what we're really thinking.
Oh, that's what my mouth is for. Really I don't need an air bubble. It comes out. I can't help it. I really can't.
No filter, just bleh.
Yeah, I don't have much of a filter. Like, you say bottom, and I would say ass. Like,
your throat chakra has no blockages whatsoever.
For the most part, that is true. I do tone it down sometimes, but not much. Toby's in there laughing. My mother's in there laughing. Darren's in there laughing because they all know it's true. That's how I am. Before I forget, we have like 20 minutes, I think it is, to the show's over. I just want to throw out there that Mr. Chris Brown is actually special co-host next week.
He's filling in for that slacker co-host who can't ever show up.
Hey. Hey. Be nice. I like that slacker co-host. Be careful there.
I don't know. She's a pain in the ass. She doesn't show up half the time. I'd fire her.
No.
Yeah, give her the boot.
Yeah, so
thank you for helping out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Like I said, it's always fun to do this sort of thing. I have the podcast that I do, so it'll be nice to do the interviewing again, I suppose.
Yeah, but I do have to say, I think I'm up to like 5 different rotating special co-hosts besides you, Kelly.
Yeah.
But I always say, I want different ones because you're irreplaceable. Like, I don't want the same one every time. Like the fill-in ones. You're busy. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would like to go with thinking nobody else will put up with you that often.
Well, that too, but shh. Hush.
No, she's been really good about it. I mean, I warned her when she asked me to be co-host that there'd be a lot of shows I'd have to miss, but so she knew, now. And it's a great opportunity to bring in other people and different opinions and perspectives. So it's always fun.
Is there a clock over your right shoulder, Kelly?
Being busy is a very good thing.
Is there a what over my shoulder?
A clock over your right shoulder. What's that blue thing on the wall? On the red wall? Nope.
Here?
Yeah. What is over there? You always look in that direction.
Oh, here. Not that anybody else can see this. My security cameras are over there.
All right. I always, since you moved the camera to that area, I've always wondered, Like, you always look over there. Like, is it a ghost? Is it a clock? Am I boring you?
No, it's a distraction thing because I can see it moving. So we've got
now I get it.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, I'm in my computer room in the basement, and where I sit, I didn't used to do shows down here, but where I sit to my right-hand side is a big TV, and our security system that's set up outside the house will actually display on this TV. So I've got 4 different screens that are up on the TV that I can see it. So like the ones that get me, Shay, when I'm looking at it is because we've got a view of the street. So when a car drives by, I can see it out of the corner of my eye.
It's just out of my view. Chris can't see it because he's on phone. But it's always just out of view. So I'm always like thinking you're looking at the time like, is this fucking almost over? Like,
no, it's like this. There's a car going by and it. Yeah, no, it's. The funny thing is, and Chris, I'll lead into a question. The funny thing is, there are no spirits in my house, none at all, and there never has been. And I thought it was weird that both my last house and this house, neither one of them had spirits in it. Until my current boyfriend's like, oh yeah, they won't come in the house. They're not allowed in the house, and they know it. So now that you know what your abilities are and what you're doing, do you find that you still have spirits in your house, or do they respectively keep their distance?
That depends. So there are times. So, for example, like we went to an investigation, a friend of mine, and there was a really nasty, really low vibrational energy there. Real gross little bugger. And he decided he wanted to follow me home. And so I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw him like creeping at the end of my bed and advancing kind of towards me. And I was like, I woke up and I was like screaming because I was scared. It scared the hell out of me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, nope, you're gone. You're out. You're done. And so I thought about it for a minute. And I was going to say, like, I was going to be like, get sage out and do this, do a ritual kind of a thing. But then I thought, no, this is a low vibrational thing. This thing wants me to be scared. It wants me to be fearful. So I was like, you know what, man? Thank you so much for being around. I love you. Thank you so much for like wanting to come home with me. That shows me how much you care about me. And I swear to you, the thing was like, ew, no. It was like, no. It's like gross. Like it didn't want. It was like that's not the vibration that it lived on. So it was like, oh, disgusting, love, ew.
Yeah.
It's tough on its own. And then there's sometimes where in the beginning, that would happen more than it does now because I take more protective measures when I go to places. But
sure. There
was a little girl from the Irish Heritage Center in Portland that followed me around and would untie my right shoe every day. I'm not even kidding. And one time I was like, you little trickster. I was like, you're not. I'm gonna prove that like you're done. And so I double knotted my shoe. I put them right in a spot where I knew that nobody would touch them. I mean, I lived alone, so it was like. But I put them right there. I woke up the next morning, untied. I was like, what are you doing?
She just really didn't want that shoe tied.
She just thought it was hilarious, She's just the funniest thing. She's like, hey, I tied your shoe. So in that case, I just politely was like, look, I know you think this is funny, but like you really have to go back to like, where your home is, where your love is, where your joy is.
Right.
And that's where I think kind of, this is where what people would call their heaven,
Mm-hmm.
And so I ask that they go back there, and I send them off with love and stuff too. But now the frequency of it is not as much, but it did used to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you have a question on that? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I just always thought it was weird because I grew up in a haunted house and that's what I knew. Yep. But then I got my own houses and I started learning more about how to control this, and all of a sudden my houses were quiet, and it's just you would think with what we do, but it's almost more creepy to know they're lurking around outside the house.
Though.
Yeah.
I know, right? It is kind of spooky to think that, like, maybe they're just like at the, in a line out the door, being like, well, it's about 8. He usually leaves about 1:15, so we'll give him another couple minutes.
Yeah, they were standing at the front door looking in, and it's like, that's not okay. That's just creepy.
Right. I had someone come. I was sleeping, and I woke up, and somebody was, spiritually next to the bed, and I was like, can I help you? Like. What seems to be going on? Like, what's up? And they were just like, just coming through. I'm like, well, you can
Sounds like my ex-boyfriend.
Like, this is my room. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, so random and so weird. I love it, though. I mean, this is, all these things, like, the things we were talking about with, like, these crazy messages that come through in readings and, like, and all this other stuff, like, all those holy shit moments with the spirit world are what really makes it for me. Like, I was admittedly really kind of skeptical, honestly, about most of this stuff. Not so much the feeling of energies and stuff, but really the ability to do mediumship and psychic work I was skeptical of. I was like, oh, nobody could really tell me what, my loved ones were doing or bring them through in a reading. And then I had those moments where I was doing it for other people, and I'm like, you can't make this shit up. Like, this is insanely powerful and evidential stuff, and it blew my whole mind wide open.
Too funny.
Sorry.
So when you say that you can see them, curiosity, can you like see them with your eyeballs, or do you see them in your head?
I describe it like this. Like I'm like interpreting a daydream almost. So like if I were to tell you guys, imagine a sunflower on the wall in front of you. You could look and use your mind's eye to see a sunflower, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how spirit, when they come through, imagery-wise, clairvoyance-wise, that's how I see them. And sometimes it's a feeling. It's almost like clairsentience mixed with clairvoyance. Like I can't really see, but I feel like they would have worn like dusty clothes, or I feel like they would have smelled like hay and manure because they worked at the farm. So it's weird. It's like I blend the clairs a little bit and try to mix them all together sometimes. And sometimes it just happens just because that's how the spirit communicator is using them to speak through me. They're like, all right, I need you to see this, I need you to feel it, and I need you to smell it. And then I'm like, all right. And they're like, now I need you to feel and smell but not see. But now I need you to see and not smell. Like, all these weird things. So it's depending on the spirit communicator, really, or the person in the spirit world that's talking.
See, and I love that you say that, because, I mean, I've had that before where a spirit had come through and I'm like, well, they've got red hair and I can't remember now if it was straight or curly. And they're like, so you can see her. I'm like, no, I can't see her. And at that point, I wasn't even seeing her clairvoyantly. I just knew. And they're like, so you can see her then? I'm like, no, but she has red hair and she's about 5'7" and she's about this size and she's, her eyes are this shaped, and they're like, so you can see her. I'm like, no, I can't. It's so hard to try to explain that to somebody, but and that's why I was asking, because I'm the same way. I see them like you can picture your best friend in your head. That's how I always tell people. Yeah. But we go to this place where I'm super familiar with the spirits that are there, and I don't see things with my eyes very often. It's pretty rare. But when I'm down there, I always tell them, I want to see you. I want to see you. And then I remember to say, just don't be standing over my bed when I wake up, because that would be terrifying.
It's so funny you say that, too, because when I was first starting this, too, I saw somebody had said, a tutor was like, if you set the intention with the spirit world, if you don't want them to, like, manifest in front of you, scare the ever-living fuck out, you can tell them, hey, don't do that. And I did that from early on. I was like, look, I don't want to see you. Like, I don't want you to manifest right in front of me, because I will make noises a grown man should not make. And so, but now since I've done that, I have gotten more comfortable with it. I'm like, it's cool. You can show me. Only once have I looked up from a reading and been like, oh shit, there is.
I think we're the same person, right, Chris. I really am starting to think we're the exact same person.
I would agree. He has the same, in person, he has the same energy as you. I'm not kidding.
Well, and it's so funny because what he's saying is exactly what I did. I said so many times when I was little, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see anything. Well, guess who can't see shit? And now I want to. And it's like, can I pretty please? And they're like, no, you can't see anything now. Like, oh. You didn't want to before.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for. Yeah,
but now I want to.
Yeah. And the same thing with me. Like I said, that one time, I usually close my eyes before reading. I'll just take a deep breath and I kind of invite spirit in. And then I open my eyes and I'm looking up. I'm like, oh, shit. And this woman didn't even want a mediumship reading. She wanted a psychic reading. Mm-hmm. And I just look up. I'm like, okay, well, before we get into you, there's a gentleman standing right behind you. And she's like, she just lost it. And,
yeah.
I was just like, oh, man. I was like, so and that's funny. I'll ask you this too, Kelly. I'm curious. I find that I'm a better medium than I am a psychic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think part of it is because there's a definitiveness to the mediumship, in my opinion, at least for me. The psychic stuff, there's still some interpretation. There's still, it's a feeling that I have to say, this is what I think they're trying to tell me. Or they give me something in my life that makes me go, okay, I think this situation they're trying to tell you need to be resilient about this or whatever. So there's still that interpretation where I can be wrong. Where with a medium, I'm just repeating what they're saying. I'm the monkey in the middle. So it's a whole lot harder for me to be wrong. Right. So yeah, that's how I interpret it for me anyways. How do you feel about it?
Well, and it's weird because I say I'm a better psychic than I'm a medium, but you need the psychic faculties to do mediumship.
Yeah. Yep.
But
every medium is a psychic. Not every psychic is a medium.
No,
she read my mind.
That either. I think. So here's what my honest opinion is: everybody in the world, regardless whether they believe it, whether they don't, is psychic, and whether you believe it or whether you don't, I think it's our God-given right to be able to speak with those people that we love. So I think that everybody is psychic, and I think that everybody is a medium, but I think it really is dependent on how far you want to develop it.
And there's so much truth to that. And I tell people that all the time because I teach intuition classes, and I tell them I'm no different than anybody else sitting in this room. The difference is I took this skill and I practiced it until I learned how to do it. Nobody sits down at the piano and can instantly play Mozart. You have to practice.
Exactly. This guy I was talking to at a fire, and he was a skeptic. Thankfully, he was not a cynic, because there's definitely a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, I couldn't do what you do. I said, yes, you could. He goes, no, I couldn't. I said, okay, well, you willing to quit your job right now, spend no less than 4 hours a day studying psychic mediumship and metaphysics, and then start to do readings free for about 2-3 years until you slowly start to get it? And he was like, hell no. And I was like, well, then there you go. If you want to dedicate that much time to it, I think that anybody could. Like you just said, if you want to sit down on the piano and play Mozart, you're going to have to do it for a long time and really grind it out and learn the mechanics of it. So many people, and myself included, do not understand that mediumship has mental mechanics that is so much involved.
There's muscle memory.
Factors.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And even down to the very point of I've had readings come through where I describe the person. I say that they're a female energy, right? And this person sitting across from me goes, yeah, that sounds like my friend, well, Mark for an example, but that's not a female. And I was like, well, was he more effeminate? Did he for other men? Was he more of a, of that kind of a thing? And she goes, yes, absolutely. I said, well, then that makes sense to why. I was like, would he come through and be like, I am woman, hear me roar? And she was like, yes, he would. And I was like, well, then there you go. And that's what's hard. That's what's difficult. That's why I think when people say sit with a medium with an open mind, that's why they say that. Because you could sit there and nitpick the fuck out of what a medium's telling you, but if you really just look at it and understand and feel it along with them, it makes it so much more impactful and genuine,
Yeah. And I had a reading just like that where I was reading for this gal, her best friend had passed, and I was telling her everything. I'm like, she this, she that, she this. And we get to the end of the reading. She's like, you are 99% accurate. I'm like, well, that's amazing. Thank you. And I'm like, curiosity is killing me. What's the 1%?
Yeah.
And she's right. And she's like, well, you just kept saying she. And I'm like, so it was a male. And she's like, yeah. And I said, okay, but let me ask a question, and no offense. And the next statement, guys, I did not say this, so please, anybody listening, please don't get offended at this. I'm like, but was he? And she interrupts me. She says, oh yeah, he was flaming gay. And I'm like, so his soul resonated as a female. That's what that's what he was. So that's how he came through to me. So yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, because you feel their energy. You feel who they were.
And that doesn't come across as gender. It comes across as who they are as a being.
That's and that's why a lot of people that can be very it can be a weird thing when that subject comes up. Also, what was it? Another thing too. I had it in my head and I lost it.
Welcome to my life.
Aspect along those that can be misconstrued or whatever. I mean, like I stop and think like there's so much about the mechanics of the stuff. It tends to get crazy, but yeah, fuck, I lost it.
All right, so it's about 9:00, so a couple more questions here.
Yep.
So Darren has a couple.
I do have one thing I want to say before we.
Oh, of course, I'll let you.
Something I'd like to. No. After the questions is good, but there's like something I wanted to kind of let you guys in on, which is super exciting.
Oh, I remembered.
Go ahead.
All right. So Darren has a couple standard questions we ask in all the Paranormal Buzz shows. What is the one object in the whole world you would never want haunted?
What is the one object I would never want haunted?
Yes.
I hate to say it, but I got to go with a doll. Like those porcelain fucking dolls that you see. Like my
terrifying.
theory that its head would slowly turn and look at me in the middle of the night, and then I'd scream bloody fucking murder. So like, I think I prefer not to have a haunted doll.
Dolls are just creepy on their own, haunted or not.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, like, I don't even have one, and I'm already, like, putting these scenarios in my mind. I'm like, nope, fuck that. No haunted toys, no haunted dolls, no haunted fucking teddy bears, not happening. I don't want nothing turning its head or moving and looking at me. Like, nope, good.
And Matt said, punt the doll. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so on the
exactly.
opposite, what's the one object you would want haunted?
An object I would want haunted. That's interesting. My first inclination would be to go to a table that you could table tip with. I think that table tipping is an interesting form of physical mediumship, and for it to really, really shine, having kind of like a gatekeeper that would be attached to the table would really spice things up, I think. So
I think that's totally different than the last spiced up answer we got on the show for that one.
Although that's a fascinating thought. I mean,
it
just to have
is.
Somebody...
That's pretty cool.
Man, I like that answer.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to have to try to find somebody to haunt a table for me.
All right. Before Chris gives his announcement, I haven't got to play this or that in a while, and I actually forgot because that's how long it's been, because I haven't had an investigator. He's a psychic medium and a reverend, but he's also a paranormal investigator. So, Chris, will you play this or that with me?
It's really easy. You can do it.
Wait, what do I do?
You just got to say yes, you'll play, and then we'll go.
Oh, yes, I'll play.
It's blind faith. I love it. All right. So I'm just going to give you 2 words to choose from, 5 questions, and just give me your top choice out of the 2, and we will silently judge you in the background.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Investigator or hunter?
Investigator or hunter? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Investigator.
See? Ding, ding. Data or evidence?
Oh, boy.
Be careful.
Yeah. I mean, the scientist in me wants to say data.
Yeah, ding, ding.
But
no.
The medium in me wants to say evidence.
No.
All right.
And that's a hard one. I have to back him up on this.
I know. No. It's Shay Show.
No,
it's Shay Show. No. It's data.
Shay needs to shush.
It's
in the
intro.
I mean,
data, not evidence. It's in the intro, people.
Data.
Just say data. We want her to still like us.
Yeah, that's right. Data, totally. 100%.
Yep, data. Yep,
right,
yep.
Here we go. Provoking or
and
no way?
From Star Trek. What was that one?
Oh, sorry. Provoking or no way?
Yeah, no way.
No way. See, good answer. Residential or commercial?
Residential.
See, I have no preference, so you're good there. All right, here's a tough one.
I say that only because there's a lot more avenues to help people.
See, yep. Orb or just dust?
Oh, I'm gonna get fucking crucified. Regardless.
You are. Be careful.
Jesus Christ. It's not just dust in some cases.
But overall, what would be your...
Way to lead the witness, Shay.
It's all of the stuff. More than not, it's...
Not all of them are dust, but not all of them are spirit orbs.
All right, I like you. I'll accept the answer.
It's a 90-10 split.
There you go. That was going to be my next question. It's like you're psychic or something. I was going to say percentage-wise. What do you think?
That's one Kelly and I disagree on too. So, all right, moving on. Recorder or video?
Up until recently, until I caught a shadow figure at the USS Salem, I would have said probably recorder, but video.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that either. All right, one more question.
Sure.
Demon or just an asshole ghost?
Man, these are fucking good questions. Well, can a demon be an asshole ghost too?
No, because a demon and a ghost, two different things. Ghost had a soul at one point, demon didn't.
Then I would wait. What is it? What is the question?
Demon or asshole ghost? Sorry, my dog's crying too.
Demon or asshole ghost? I mean, both.
All right, we'll go with that.
Well, because angels are beings that have never been incarnate, right?
Angels are good, demons are bad.
Well, so why can't demons have never been incarnate?
Well, that's the difference. Demon was never a living being.
Right, and neither were angels technically.
Right.
Depending on who.
Asshole.
Well, yeah.
Asshole ghost, not angel ghost.
So let me rephrase the question a different way.
All right.
90% of the time when someone is experiencing something, quote, evil, is it a demon or an asshole ghost?
It's an asshole.
See? All right.
I would say.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm being difficult.
No,
that was fun, though. I like difficult.
No, but I get where he's coming from because
he overthinks everything like me.
What was that?
He overthinks everything like me.
Well, yeah.
I do. I do overthink because I'm like, well, I like go through in my mind like the different things. I'm just like, fuck. I can't answer one or the other.
That's the
but
fun
it's
part
fun.
of
I like
it.
it.
Thank you guys. Everybody's saying great show.
All right,
can't see, but Kelly, see my bald dog?
Oh.
Yes.
What's that?
You can't see, but my dog's now joined us.
If you could call that thing a dog.
The news I wanted to share with you guys was going forward. I know that Shay, you know him, but going forward, Toby Hartford is going to be managing me as a medium and getting kind of things rolling as far as that goes, like being able to get me to a wider audience so I can try and help and heal as many people as possible and spread kind of the awareness of psychic and mediumship work. So I am super excited to be working with Toby going forward. And if you're still listening, bud, like, fuck yeah, we're going to do this and it's going to be great.
Toby is an awesome person. Both
Toby's
twins
great.
are.
And he is really...
But, yeah.
Both of those guys. Like, I met them for the first time at Parafest, and, you know, everything I've been doing up until this point has been DIY, and my brain is cooked.
And he is still listening.
Awesome. And so having him kind of to help me out, and like I said, just kind of, like, the goal is to spread awareness about psychic and mediumship work and to heal as many people as possible through giving readings for people and spreading that hope and that our loved ones aren't really gone. They're just in a different spot.
No, and I think Toby is a great choice. I really do.
Yeah.
It's been at least 4 years I've known Toby.
Yep.
I think he'll correct me if I'm wrong. Travis, not quite as long, but Toby. Toby and I connected over Facebook over my favorite location, so. But no, awesome. Toby's a great person.
Absolutely.
He really is.
He's definitely already helped very much. We've got a lot of exciting things that we're working together to get out there and get done. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the future. You know, I mean, I know that given the current world climate, things are kind of fucked up and weird, but I have high hopes for 2021. I really think that.
God, I hope so.
I have high hopes for 2022. 2021
well, I honestly think that once, March, April time frame, like I'm not saying this is like a formal prediction, but I really feel like March or April, things are gonna like finally be like, okay, there's some sort of semblance of normalcy coming back.
Yeah, that's when I'll die. If I die in March or April, you guys know.
You're a horrible person, Shay.
I know.
Jeez.
I can't help it. Sorry. I cannot help it.
I do. I hope that's the case, and I hope things get back to normal sooner than that. But realistically, I think around
springtime,
we'll start to see some changes.
Yeah, but until then, if things don't get better, keep your sense of humor. That's all I'm doing.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like I just, we didn't really talk much about spirit guides, but I do definitely have them, and I'm connected with them a lot. But
you'll be back.
They definitely keep.
So.
Oh, cool. They definitely keep me grounded. They keep me humble, keep me going. So.
No, next week you'll be a co-host. You want to come back talk about spirit guides? I think I'm now booking in April. I think I'm booked till April. I'm not even kidding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
That's a good thing.
Sometimes. I love doing it, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to book that far ahead because something happens and it throws everything out of whack. So. All right, so
I always say that the truth is never set in stone, so.
Yeah. Unless you have OCD and anxiety like me. Then everything is set in stone, in schedule. It's like...
So, Chris, for people who want to find you, or for anybody who wants to find you, follow you, keep track of you, stalk you, how do they find you?
So stalk me. I hope they don't do that. They can find me if they go to Facebook, if they look up Reverend... or Psychic Medium Christopher, or Reverend Psychic Medium Christopher.
I think it's Reverend Christopher Psychic Medium.
That sounds about right. There's also a page called Postcards from Heaven, which is going to be some things I'm working on with Toby going forward.
I know, I forgot to ask. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So it's going to be those are going to be events that we're setting up to hopefully do some gallery kind of type reading stuff, like mediumship demonstrations, and just kind of inspiring people as well. It's not just me getting up there and doing mediumship, which is going to be towards the end, but it's going to be inspirational talking. It's going to be sharing my story, because I have a really kind of a fucked up past. I was a drug addict for a long time. I dealt with depression for a very long time. So I beat all of that, and by finding my spirituality and my mediumship, really kind of kept it kicked. So just trying to encourage people and empower people, and then hopefully deliver some really awesome and healing messages for folks. And like I said, let them know that their loved ones really are just kind of not very far away.
But just you saying that, I think, is healing to somebody out there, because some of us can't admit our downfalls, our mistakes, our issues. I freely admit all my issues. So I'm not one of them, but it does help people to hear. I'm not kidding. I have OCD. I have PTSD. I have severe anxiety. And I openly talk about it to help somebody else. So.
Exactly. Well, that's why stuff that I did. So.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for people, because it's weird, but we get put in these positions where people look up to us for whatever reason. And kind of like Chris was saying earlier, they think we live in love and light and walk on water and, have everything figured out, and we don't. And I think it helps people to understand our life is a shit show too, you know.
We're all human.
This is what we do to get through. So,
yep.
I don't know. I guess that's.
No, I agree.
Hopefully, I can help other people understand that you don't have to have it all together. You just have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yep. All right. So, on that note, so in case you guys missed it, follow Chris on Reverend Christopher Psychic Medium, I believe is what it is. If that's not what it is.
Yes, it is.
I was pretty sure. He said it wrong, but.
Oh, yeah. You can also go over to the Postcards from Heaven with Reverend Christopher. You follow me on my podcast, which is I Fucking Knew It.
Yes.
That is on Spotify and Anchor.com or Anchor.fm. So, yeah, hopefully new episodes will be coming soon with that. This has been a blast. It's been really fun.
No, and I appreciate you coming, and you'll be back next week as a co-host, and you'll be back in the hopefully spring as a guest.
Absolutely. I would love that.
All right, so like I said, next week we have Ashley on from AJ's Paranormal. Chris will be back with us, so listen to us then. Have a great weekend, and we will see you then.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Peace out.